It is honor to address you today to this significant program CACCI, where at the process of Bangladesh business environment. I thank CACCI for this initiative. As the President of the Federation of Bangladesh Chamber of Commerce and Industry, the FX Trade Body of Bangladesh, I am delighted to share with you the remarkable journey of Bangladesh over the first 5 decades, a journey that is springing us towards a smart Bangladesh. Our per capita income has risen from a $91 to in 1972. Now it is almost $2,784 in fiscal year 2024. This extraordinary growth reflects our resilience, determination, and strategic partner planning. Bangladesh is now the world's second largest producer of garments and freshwater fish, and the leading producer of jute and jute goods. Despite of our relatively small size of land of 148,460 square kilometer, we are home to 172 million people. Our progress in socio-economic sectors is notable. We have halved the number of poor and absolute poor people, achieved gender parity in enrollment of girls in primary and secondary education, reduced the infant mortality rate, increased life expectancy. Microfinance initiative have empowered millions of women for decision making in spending, education, and having offerings. Our RMG sector alone employs 4 million people, mainly women, greatly contributing to our economy. Our government's extensive social safety network is supporting the less privileged, including allowances for widows, divorced women, physically challenged, and the elderly. Millions receive food support through TCB cards, and last year, government also distributed 340 million free textbooks to students up to the secondary level. That is, our 500 million people is directly or indirectly helped by the government, poor people. Infrastructure has been a key focus of our government. Bangladesh has successfully completed mega projects worth $50 billion, such as the Padda multipurpose bridge with rail link, Dhaka Metro Rail, third terminal of Fazle Fahim International Airport, Kornopuli Tunnel, which is the first one in Southeast Asia, Paira Port, Dhaka Elevated Express, etc. These projects create business-friendly, efficient connectivity. Additionally, we have initiated other critical mega projects such as throughput automatic power plant, Madarbari deep seafood, etc. Bangladesh government has decided to set up 97 economic zones, almost 100 economic zones, 8 export processing zones, and 38 high-tech parks to attract foreign direct investment and to boost domestic environment in a planned way. To attract FDI, Bangladesh offers an area of incentives. Bangladesh government has set up Bangladesh Investment Development Authority to provide one-stop service in one platform and to ease business establishment process. Key benefits for investment includes 5 to 10 years tax holiday and reduced tax depending on area, 100% tax exemption on income and capital gain for certain projects under public-private partnership for 10 years. 100% tax exemption for software development, 50% of tax exemption on income tariff from export, bonded warehousing facilities, duty-free import of machinery, repatriation of invested capital and profit, simplified procedures for work permits and visas, etc. Looking forward, present government led by Honorable Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, who is the daughter of the father of the nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, has set the vision for Smart Bangladesh by 2041. Built on the four pillars: a smart citizens, a smart government, a smart economy, a smart society, is anchored in innovation, sustainability, and inclusivity. It is the continuation of Digital Bangladesh, whose present government initiated in 2009. Smart Bangladesh is the next major step towards realizing father of the nation Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman's dreams of Sonar Bangla, a golden Bengal. We aim to harness digital technologies to drive growth, improve public services, and create a more connected, inclusive, and efficient society. It includes expanding our digital infrastructure, fostering a robust startup ecosystem, and ensuring digital literacy for all. In conclusion, Bangladesh's journey over the first 5 decades is a testament of our unwavering spirit and strategic vision. As we move towards achieving Smart Bangladesh, we are committed to creating a dynamic and inclusive business environment to foster innovation and growth for our nation and for our prosperity. On behalf of FBCCI, I invite you all to join us in this existing journey and explore the vast opportunities that Bangladesh offers. Thank you very much. Jai Bangla, Jai Bangabandhu, Bangladesh Citizen. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President, Mr. Mahbubul Alam, and the Secretary General of FBCCI, Mr. Alamgir, and the Secretariat of CACCI. Well, this year, Mr. President Macmillan has taken up a calendar year program for CACCI. As part of that program, thank you, FBCCI, for doing this business conclave. As you know, CACCI is a 26 members country and independent economies trade body grouping. The total population is about 37.8% of the global population, a global 19.6% of the global GDP, and 19.7% of the global export. CACCI has undertaken recently a value chain study under the CACCI member by Turkey, TIPAP, and in the calendar year program also with Singapore Manufacturing Federation, Green Alliance initiative has been undertaken, which the Singapore Manufacturing Federation may assist FBCCI to get this Green Alliance initiative certification training for the SMEs of Bangladesh, through which the SMEs, goods and services and products may reach some certification for net zero goals. So I thank FBCCI and the CACCI Secretariat again, and Mr. President for holding this event, and we look forward to working together. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President of FBCCI, and also our ex-president of FBCCI and now Vice President of CACCI for a wonderful speech and giving the first impression that how we can actually foster growth in Bangladesh while we are actually having some constructions in the economy because of some global turmoil. But we hope that as Bangladesh is a resilient country and the people are resilient, they will overcome this time being problems, and in due course, Bangladesh will be in its journey towards the progress and prosperity has been envisaged by our Honorable Prime Minister, Her Excellency Sheikh Hasina. And You know, in 1971, this country was war-based and around 70 million people, but now today is more than 170 million people. But still, then the country is progressing because the leadership is there, people are resilient, our trade and business been improved. So in the journey, we think that our business community, they are actually the engine of our growth, and they will be continuing to take the challenges and improve the conditions of the millions of people in Bangladesh. With the leadership, political leadership, and the business people's leadership, I think the mass people of Bangladesh will be all be looking forward for a smart Bangladesh, as envisaged by our Honorable Prime Minister, which we will fulfill by 2041. And before that, we will be reaching the middle income class group of people by 2030, and already we have achieved the graduated from a LDC to middle or middle income country. And with this, I think that's important for us that it is important for us to note that there will be two presentations on my side. One is on the trade and business opportunities in Bangladesh and how we actually provide the opportunities in Bangladesh to allure the global business houses and the entrepreneurs to come into Bangladesh and look into the facilities given by our government, especially the Ministry of Finance, the NBR, and other agencies that are actually involved with the process, like Bangladesh Investment Development Authority, Bangladesh Export Processing Zone, and BABJA and BEJA. And for the first one, that means I'd like to first have a presentation on Bangladesh trade and business opportunities. Then there will be another presentation side by side that will be on FBCCI, what it is and how it flourished itself from the nascent position in 1970 to a present position in 2024. Now I will share the slide with you. Then I think you will bear with me for the next, I think, around 30 to 35 to 40 minutes, and then after we have a question answer session, and we are most welcome to put your questions either in chat box or directly, and our honorable presidents and other participants there, they will be also helping me. Now I am giving the presentation on trade and business opportunities in Bangladesh. Please hold me. I'm getting the slide shared with the presentation. It's important for us to give you an overview of the map that where we stand in the geopolitical in the region. You see on the top of the Bangladesh is on the three sides, north, east, and the western side is surrounded by India, the big country, and also a small strip on the north, the southern side is by Myanmar. It is actually divided by a small river. We call it Naf River. And on the south side, we have always been battered by the webs of the Bay of Bengal. It is a bane for us that we are having a big sea, and the fisheries we can actually have fish from the deep sea. Also, there are resources for energy and other resources there, but we couldn't tap it fully potential. And this is all about Bangladesh. So this is the population of GDP and GDP per capita. And if you look at the size of Bangladesh population, it is just one of the states in the United States. The size of Bangladesh is like it's 1,48,460 square kilometer. So like one of the states in the United States, Wisconsin. But you see the population size is 170 million, the 8th largest in the world in terms of population. But beside this, we have a GDP of $459 billion in 2023, and in GDP ranking 35, it is in 35. And per capita income is, according to our statistics in 2023, $2,785. And when we were independent 53 years back, our GDP, and already our president mentioned, and GDP per capita was very low. So we progressed, but there are scope for us to progress more, I think. So this is about our GDP and the GDP per capita. We are increasing. In terms of population, our honorable Vice President CACCI and ex-President FBCCI, he also mentioned as a small country, but we actually share 2.3% of the population of the world. That's why it's 8%. And this population growth will continue, I think, for the next few years. The census says that is increasing actually. But there will be a plateau in the years to come. In 2050, that will have a stability after having around 200 million people, that it will go down. So the population still, I think we are having the dividend of the population and in demography, but that will continue until I think to 2050. And if you look at from the perspective of the Asian countries, I think the business climate, the growth, and with comparison to emerging and developing countries, if you look at the right side, our growth perspective is better, and also our credit worthiness in the score is also very good. We have to improve in the business climate rank. Our per capita income we have to increase. And while we speak of this scenario, I think there is the necessity of trade and investment, especially the foreign direct investment. And if you look at the GDP, according to the forecast, the IMF, but the GDP of Bangladesh will continue to grow, and it will continue to grow for the years to come, because I already mentioned is a very resilient country, and the trade baskets of though at present is mainly dependent on garments, but it will continue to grow, diversify in other sectors. Governments, the policies, incentives are for other sectors also. If you look at the projection of our the forecast in all the aspects, you see that the per capita income of our people also increase. Since our GDPs will be increasing, our trade will be increasing, and there is a prospect for our continuous growth of the GDP, and that has been measured by the IMF and World Bank. And in the GDP forecast 2024, though there is some contractions in the economy this year, this fiscal year, but still it is, I think, is growing better by leaving aside all the gloomy things like the depreciation of the dollar to taka and other issues. But still, the government is expected 7.5, but World Bank is 5.6, IMF 6%. So it's not bad. It's not so bad. It will continue to grow. And if you look at the economic growth, the forecast, the finance ministry gives that it will continue to grow in the year 2025 and others. And if you look at the export, import, and remittance, earlier in the 22 it was a bit boost, but later on 23 it is a bit slow, and 24 it's almost same. It's because of the Ukraine-Russia war, and there is some in the Middle East there are some turbulence, especially with the Gaza war with Israel, and there are some attacks on the shipping lines. So, but we hope that as 25 predicts that will be increasing and will continue to increase. Our foreign reserve also will be increasing, which is at present a little bit contractionary. So we think that they will continue to grow. If you look at our GDP by sector, the agriculture now accounts for only 11.7. Whereas our service sector is the greatest, I think, greatest contributor to our economy, and followed by our industry. And this is the trend in almost all the developed countries. And it is a sign that the moving of the GDP, the economy is in the right track, because as our human resources going to continue to grow, and they're educated, the skilled manpower there, I think the service sector, industry sector will continue to grow. But this is not to say that we are doing it at the cost of agriculture. Our agricultural productivity also increased, but we will continue to increase it in the years to come with new technology, and we need to give inputs, impetus to this agriculture sector, because we need food for our people also. If you look at the major trade items that are important exports, our total import is much more than our total exports. So always there is a deficit in the accounts. As you can see that there is around $20 billion deficit, and this because we are actually a growing child also needs more thing to feed him, and so our country also growing, so we need a lot of imports, machineries, our food items, and our other items which we need to feed for our industries and for our people. Our total exports amounts to $55.55 billion, and our major import items are cotton, steel bars, cereal, machinery, LNG, crude oil. The cotton is mainly for our garments industry, and our machinery is for our industry, LNG for the energy, and crude oil also for our energy sector. Our major exports are actually more than 85% of our exports are based on garments, and that's why Bangladesh is the second largest producer of garments in the world, is after China, and we will continue to grow it because we have a very wise and prudent business community who are working on it, and we have a very resilient workers there, those who are working there and for the production. They are very experienced and skilled, and they are working in other countries also. And coming up with garments, our woven, yarn, leather, jute products, fishes are also coming up as major exports. If you look at the Bangladesh's top export destination, United States comes first, and then followed by Germany, UK, Spain, France, and Netherlands, India, and other countries. Australia is the 12th destination. But if you look at the import partners, which country we do import most is that China is number one, is around 20 billion, and then followed by India, then Singapore, Malaysia, Indonesia, and others. So though US is our top export country to destination, but China is our top import partner. So that I think the proximity, physical proximity is also matters, as well as the cost also matters, I think, and we get the resources and the raw materials cheaper than other countries. But today's presentation on the opportunities of trade and investment in Bangladesh, and also how Bangladesh can actually harness the opportunities. If you look at the export potential of Bangladesh by products in percentage, in RMG sector, we have actually 29.5% opportunities, real opportunities, and also other opportunities, tangible ones. Footwear, shrimp, leather, this is only for China. But you see the China's overall import market is $2.5 trillion, and China's domestic RMG market is $3 billion US. But we are exporting only very few amounts. So this around $680 million. So this speaks out that this says that we have actually get opportunity to export to China. And I think this is the point where I think our businessmen need to look at. Also, we look at the export potential of Bangladesh by the European other countries, US, UK. There is also our opportunities are there. We are not actually exploring the full potential, and I think there is the necessity for us to equip ourselves, our productivity, market identification, and product diversification kinds of thing. I think we can tap the untapped potential in these European and US countries. As I mentioned earlier, our import is much more than our exports. The black the diagram says about our imports. The orange one is our export. So if you see that over the years, there is actually the gap between the export and import, and we actually import more than export. And most of the things, I think, in US $1 million. If you look at our external trade, the major export commodities are garments. There are knit garments, non-knit garments, and major import are our cotton, equipments, and iron and steel, other things. And our markets are major export markets for garments, US, Germany, France, and major imports are China, India. Already I mentioned this. If you look at the foreign direct investment is around I think sometimes a little bit than $3 billion US, or sometimes less than that. It is usually like that. And this on the left side, you can see the total stock of the direct investment in Bangladesh. On the right side, you can see the yearly the flow of investment on year-to-year basis. Sometimes it's around mostly like 3 billion or less than some 3 billion US dollars. And here is the opportunity, and I think the foreign direct investors, the entrepreneurs, to come into Bangladesh and set their business, because the policies, the rationales, the incentives are actually in favor of the foreign investors. That I mentioned, I didn't go that much. So I would like to say, we have found out that Bangladesh needs FDI, and also we need export, and the foreign direct investors can export from here, and we need also efficiency and product diversification. And that's true for us. We actually, if you need to graduate from LDC middle income, then after the developed countries aspiration, we need to have more investment to increase the per capita income of our people, to have more the product knowledge and the technology transfer and the management knowledge also. This is where I think foreign direct investment may come for give a big push. And I think that's why today's seminar can, I think, help you that why you need this. And for this reason, what initiatives been taken by our government? Our government already invested heavily in roads, rail, land, sea, and airports, and also invested heavily in energy, IT sector, and also skill development, TVET sector, health and social safety network. Already our president has mentioned it. And our government set up BIDA to ease business, to give you one-stop service there, all the services from one point. And Bangladesh government also enacted business-friendly rules and regulation to protect and promote FDI. And tax liberation and lucrative incentive has been declared by for the foreign direct investors. So I would say that it's actually right time that we invest in Bangladesh. Why? It's considered as the fastest growing economies in the region. Also, it's second after India, and also in the region. And the World Bank estimates that Bangladesh economy will grow, and I have shown you in the graphs that is continue to grow in the coming years. And it is one of the faster growing economy, and it will be the 9th largest consumer market by 2030. Its GDP growth for the last decades were never negative. This is most miraculous. Most of the countries, the European and other developed countries, they have sometimes zero growth or sometimes very little growth. But Bangladesh is having a growth of 6 to 7% almost last 3 decades. And we have 40 operational special economic zones across the country, 28 high parks and software technical parks, so that you can have the lands there, all the facilities been provided. We have export processing zones beside that for attracting investment. A lot of Chinese, Indian, and others, Korean investors are there. They're having good benefit from there. Bangladesh, already I mentioned, and to streamline the process, we have the regulatory framework. The framework is one is that Bangladesh Investment Development Authority, BIDA, and another is Bangladesh Economic Zone Authority, where 97 zones have been prepared, parks been prepared for investment. And we have Bangladesh Export Processing Zone Authority to look into the investment done in the Baja area. There are 8 this zone, and we have also High-Tech Park Authority, Bangladesh Private Partnership Authority, that if anyone likes to invest in a private partnership, private-public partnership module, he can also apply here. And to protect your interest and the money, the authorities are working here. These are established by government of Bangladesh. So also on the tax side, tax holiday and tax exemption are there. 5 to 10 years tax holiday, reduced tax depending, 100% tax exemption, and 50% income derived from the export is exempted from tax, and tax exemption on interest paid on foreign loan. These are actually a lot of opportunities there. And as I mentioned, and since our economy is continuing to grow, 5 to 7% is in 20 to 23, and per capita income continue to grow, and it will be a stable foreign ratings in Moody and Finch. We never failed in our providing the debts we committed to our debtors, and it will be the 35th largest economy by 2037. And all the things I think is recovering very well. I think that spokes the reports that is doing well, and it has 2.3 million young professionals at the workforce. 45% of its population are below 24 years, and it has around 47 million people access to internet. And you can see on the screen that there are actually a lot of the good signs which are actually will entice you to come here and invest in Bangladesh. These are the mega infrastructure development projects completed, and some are on the verge of completion. The Podda multipurpose bridge is one of the finest monumental architecture on the mighty river Podda. It's there both railroad and the road connectivity for buses and others. This is Dhaka Must Rapid Transport System, revolutionized the transit system in Dhaka, the once the crowded and the most trafficked area in Dhaka. Bangabandhu Tunnel in Chittagong and Dhaka Elevated Expressway, our new terminal for the Dhaka airport, and the nuclear power plant is about to complete, and it will have around 2,500 megawatt of electricity. We have also power plant in Matarbari, Maheshkali Deep Seaport, Paira Seaport, Dhaka Mawa Expressway, Bangabandhu Sector. There are many things to, I think I cannot narrate it in this short presentation. So these are all the things I think you can look into I would ask them to look into and come into Bangladesh for trade investment. There are actually a lot of opportunities here. The labor is cost effective here. Its location is strategic. You have ports, you have airs, you have rail, you have the seaports, land ports, everything here. And there is government support for investment. You have bonded warehousing facilities, bilateral treaties with 31 countries for export import, and investment protected, equal treatment, double taxation treaties are there, so that no taxation is done doubly, and 100% foreign ownership of the entrepreneurs. I would request you can look into these sectors for investment. The apparel and garments industry, pharmaceuticals, the flourishing one, electronics and IT, frozen food, leather, energy and power, light engineering, automobiles, agribusiness industries, construction of a steel plant, and shipbuilding and blue economy, the nascent and very flourishing one in the years to come. So these are the actually sectors where investors can invest these sectors. And these opportunities are being created by our BEJA, PPP, private operators in economic zones, also expert positions, or in capital market, you can have your investment. This is, I think, on the trade and business opportunities and the infrastructure being created by our government and the regulatory framework being created by our and the policies that actually enable that actually help business to grow and flourish in Bangladesh with the very the enabling government policies in tax structure, in VAT and tax structure, in development, and in ownership of the ventures. This is the thing from my side on the trade and investment opportunities on the side of Bangladesh, a country which was born in 1971, which can now boast of being one of the leaders in the garments industry. We can boast of that one of the resilient country to manage the waste, manage the disasters, and they can actually deserve to get more investment from your countries, those who are participating, those who are actually hearing our voices from here in Dhaka, Bangladesh. Thank you very much about this on this presentation. Now, the questions I will take later on. There's another presentation on my site on FBCCI. You can see that this is actually the building where I am speaking out. This is at the front side of my building. And I think one of our vice president, Mr. Sheikh Fazle Fahim, is here. He is actually pioneer to remodel it and rebuild it with his equipment and knowledge and his talent, I think. We appreciate him very much for creating the enabling environment here in this office. This is the FBCCI. So on behalf of FBCCI Secretary General, I welcome you all to the presentation on FBCCI. I term it as powering, preserving, and promoting trade and business interest of business community in Bangladesh. I have mentioned myself. I would talk about the FBCCI is coming into being, and then the vision and mission of FBCCI. And then I will talk to you about the objective of FBCCI and functions it renders, and also its other activities and engagement with the government and private sector, and its outlook and dream, what it likes to be in the years to come, what it likes to be. So it came into being in 1973, the FBCCI under the Ordinance 1961 under Company Act. And the board is run by the president, senior vice president, and vice presidents, along with 80 directors, as duration is for 2 years. The president, the one president, so you can see our president here, he is here, and he is a renowned business personality. He also was president in Chittagong Chambers, and he has many enterprises and business houses run by him. This is our board, our senior vice president and vice presidents here. You can see in the picture. There are 6 of them vice president, 1 senior vice president. FBCCI's mission is to be the center of excellence in policy advocacy and trusted name among the business communities in all matters related to trade and investment. And its mission is to empower business and drive economic growth. This economic growth it be done through policy advocacy, networking, facilitating trade and building capacity of business community. Our objective is to empower business and driving growth. By doing so, we transform Bangladesh. This transformation, which has been seen or dreamt by our leaders, our political leaders. The functions is to coordinate, promote interest of business communities, trading collectively, to aid and stimulate investment, trade and commerce, and agriculture, tourism, HRD in Bangladesh and beyond, and assist chambers of commerce and industry associations in organizing trade and investment fairs home and abroad. Also to provide views on different issues of government policies, especially on trade, tax, VAT, and investment. Our engagement at FBCCI with trade show, fair, dialogue, and summits, also ties with business bodies home and abroad, also research and promotion, and we have also knowledge sharing, CSR and publication, and present government sector, represent government sector in government committees and task forces. So these are our functions, and our future commitment is to engage and embrace and emulate. And for doing so, we look into the government policies. Government has 8 5-year plan. We align our trade and business policies like with that 8 5-year plan. We have a graduation process by 2026. So we need to prepare for the competition coming and increase our productivity with that. We align ourselves. We have the SDG 2030, and there are a lot of issues with the private sector. So we also work here with the with the government to ensure that SDG been transitioned smoothly. With the Vision 2041, we need a happy and prosperous Bangladesh, and we are working for increasing GDP investment for that purpose. And also smart Bangladesh, the present vision of our present government, Her Excellency Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. We want to establish fintech, cashless, paperless, single window in trade and transaction. And we are working on that. And we have, last but not the least, we have the Delta plan, which will be built on our ecosystem, preserving environment ecosystem and riverine systems. We'll be working on that also. Industrialization will be followed by that. Other activities are include a safety council. We have standing committees. Actually, we have a meeting just now in our third floor. We have government committees represented. Also, research and innovation. We have a press and publication wing, and we have a SDG goals, CSR and membership wing also. So we work actually a lot of areas. Some of the areas I focus here that the FBCCI Safety Council, it actually creates awareness for the safety of our industries and buildings. And we have a committee to look into the under CSR to look into the affected areas, and we visit the areas to look into the business communities and our people there. We also keep the market stable. We look for the market prices are not being raised, so the people are not being affected. So this is a meeting where we actually go to the market to see the prices and the commodities there, whether they are rationally priced. We have a lot of, I think, workshops. This is the workshop on how building resilient economy for Vision 2041, where our principal secretary, our NBR representative, our commerce secretaries, I find that here. And we have a meeting with our smart trade in smart Bangladesh and way forward. This is also a seminar. This is a seminar on safety issues, safety challenges and mitigation issues for Bangladesh, where our Home Minister came and he spoke. This is a seminar on supportive ecosystem for our women entrepreneurs and professionals in Bangladesh on International Women's Day. This has been organized by FBCCI. This is a meeting with our consultative meeting with our NBR National Board of Revenue before the budget being declared, because we want that take into account the consideration and concerns of our business community. We did it in our Pan Pacific Shonagar Hotel with the NBR chairman and other members there. This is a meeting with the Honorable Foreign Minister who came to Bangladesh, Mr. Mario Vieira in Dhaka. We talked about the bilateral cooperation. This is the meeting on supply chain in agro products, where our leaders joined there. Our previous agriculture minister and USDA, the country representative, was present there. This is the meeting on disaster and crisis risk management and we signed an agreement with the private sector so that we can have a good mechanism to manage the risks. We have a panel of advisors before any kinds of decisions or suggestions given to government. Our president, our board meets with the panel of advisors. They are very renowned in that field. They are think tanks. We take an opinion from them so that we can communicate with the government on the issues. There are business community also, and also the think tank and members of the bureaucracy also. We have a lot of standing committee deal with the issues every day that affects people or that contributes to the growth of economy. And this is on logistics and courier service meeting. And this is on hospital and diagnostic centers, the standing committee meeting. And this is a meeting on export. This is the meeting on ports and shipping. And this is a meeting on vegetable marketing. This is on trade and investment in African countries. So you see a lot of standing committees. This is the committee on income tax and energy and utilities. They are discussing. This is a meeting on agro-processing, agro-based industries. There are actually a lot of committees. This is on customs and VAT. We have a lot of committees. We have CSR and social activities. We visit the places if there is any flood or any during the winter. We have some people, those who are actually affected. We also give them some rugs or some blankets, and we also donate money to the Prime Minister's office so that poor people can be reached our benign hearts. There was a summit in 2023 business summit where most of the countries joined there for the summit. It was a wonderful summit, and it expressed the Bangladesh readiness for the investment. and our Prime Minister was the chief guest there. And we are members of a lot of countries like CACCI, D8, SAC, CPIT, FICCI, Indian Chambers, WTO. That's we mean that we actually have a good network. We want to work together, and we would be working together because connectivity and connectedness actually keeps us alive and makes the real dent in the way we do business. These are the committees we actually connected. Worked on different sectoral issues, social issues, challenges, and concerns with a lot of issues. We have a publications wing also. They publish quarterly reviews or other things. Our committee calls on our BBI, Prime Minister, our ministers, our dignitaries coming to Bangladesh visit. These are some of the pictures show you here. So ultimately, our dream is the dream of our father nation, 1971. We have been liberated from the tyranny of our colonizers. So we want a country our forefather dreamt of. That is Golden Bengal. Our president said, a nation free of hunger, poverty, and oppression. Our business communist dream is to make that dream fulfill. That we want a society where our people will be happy. There will not be oppression. There will be no hunger. Hunger-free, poverty-free, a democratic, liberal country. And our Prime Minister, the daughter of Honorable Father of Nation, she also, with the dream, she also added another dream to make Bangladesh a smart Bangladesh. We are envisaged by our Prime Minister. We have been encouraged by our Prime Minister dream. Our FBC wants to become a smart organization, a smart business, collaborate with the government in all the modern policies that will actually make Bangladesh a smart country by 2041. Thank you very much for giving me this time to sharing the achievements of Bangladesh. And we hope that one day we'll be at the Committee of the Nations, a civilized nation, and the nations of the rich people.
Yeah.
There are three questions.
Somebody's raised hand. Yeah.
One question is that are the power plants or power distribution owned by private sector or by the government? How about other utilities like water and telecommunication? I think that's a good question. I think our Honorable CACCI Vice President, Sheikh Fazle Fahim, he can answer this question.
Thank you for the question. It's from an anonymous attendee. Most of the businesses in Bangladesh are in the private sectors. There are power plants as well as the airlines, banks, and these are in the private sector as well. The nuclear power plant is owned by the government, but the other power plants are in the private sector. Water, telecommunication is also in the private sectors. Government also holds a state-owned enterprise, but the larger ones are in private sectors like Telenor and such multinationals. But the water is still is a state-owned enterprises. It's not in the private sector.
Question is on the minimum wage. Minimum wage, I think it's not clear where he meant it. Is for industry or for government or which level? I think it depends. But for minimum wage, government has a minimum wage board which decides, I think, every year the minimum wage for the workers at the entry level. I think our Honorable President may also answer this question.
80. That's true. $80 now.
It's around $80 at the beginning. With the conflicts in neighboring region, what are the safety parameters for imports and exports of Bangladesh to investors? Whether there are any safety measures for importing and exporting our goods or importing goods due to Ukraine, Russia war or other war, whether it will impact. Mr. Sheikh Fazle Fahim, I think you are the expert in that.
Well, any conflicts in the global arena impacts us in terms of the logistics cost, but in terms of security and safety, there are no issues. But sometimes because of these conflicts, we see a hike in the cost of our logistics. For example, during pandemic, container from China used to be $800. It went up to 10,000. Our export markets like US, the container cost went up to 35,000 to 40,000. So we see an external shock of high logistics costs because of global developments that have been going on since the pandemic. But in terms of the security of our port facilities and land ports and the ocean ports, seaports, airports, there are no security issues. Thank you.
Oh, what is the current foreign exchange position?
Exchange position is almost $117. It is plus minus one, plus minus one.
And now the government has turned into a crawling peg. That means with the market-based one already almost. Earlier it was not. It was decided by Bangladesh Bank, but now it is a crawling peg. So it is following the market supply and demand side. So there is no problem now. And our reserve also
Now it is stable. Now it is
stable now because of the measures taken by Bangladesh Bank as central regulatory authority of the monetary policy. Any more questions? About the bureaucracy, one mentioned. How about the bureaucracy? Bureaucracy. Yeah, bureaucracy. I think is concerns that
bureaucracy pro-businessman, pro-business.
Yeah.
As for our honorable Prime Minister is business friendly, all bureaucracy and everybody is pro-business. That's the main.
They are working hard, but maybe for some reasons, somewhere, maybe one or two, but they cannot spoil the whole system. This is in every country, one or two, there were some, the black sheeps are there, but actually, most of them are pro-business and they like to work to implement the government policies. I think this is, and our governance also gradually increasing, and people are having more now understand the importance of the foreign direct investment in Bangladesh to increase their per capita income, to increase their GDP, and to increase the prosperity and progress, the level of prosperity of Bangladesh. We like to conclude it here, and I would personally appreciate you for giving your time, especially to the Bangladesh Business Conclave here, and to give us the opportunity to represent Bangladesh with all of you. The ideal situation why you should actually invest in Bangladesh.